Welcome back to the 2.5 Kiwi podcast. I'm joined here with Luke oh man Robson. How's it going, Luke?
Very well, mate. Good to have you on board.
Yeah. I'm also joined with Aaron All or Nothing Shields.
Great to
How's
be
it going,
here.
mate?
Great to be here, Jack.
Good stuff. Right, so an interesting week 4 of the Super Rugby. Starting off, let's head over to Luke to go over the big game of the weekend.
Well, I guess wearing a Highlanders jersey entitled me to kick off the Highlanders game, so let's be honest, the Highlanders weren't at their best, but I think a good sign of a team going through the season is when they can knock over teams when they honestly are playing badly. And you could tell a little bit of rust was coming from that bye weekend, a few of those forced passes and, seeing the Holo drop just a couple of real sitters, but then showing his class later in the game.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, bloody hell.
You'd have to say his positives outweigh the negatives, though.
Oh, like tenfold, yeah, without doubt. Just to touch on, I thought the big game was going to be the Canes be the Crusaders, but apparently Luke thought otherwise. So
no, you should never asking a Highlanders fan the biggest game of the season.
We'll get to that. Especially at Forsyth Bar as well.
We've lost half our subscribers in the North Island.
Yeah, no, I agree, Luke. The Hondas had a lot of promise there, and it's just going to get that polish on as the season goes on. I thought the support play was brilliant, attacking that channel in between the 15 and the try line, outstanding.
Yeah. And to get a bonus point, I think is crucial because, as we know, come playoff time with wild cards and side entries and all that sort of carry on, like these bonus points are crucial. And as you say, when the Highlanders were looking rusty, to get that bank it, move on to the next week against a huge opponent, awesome to have one sorted for them.
Yeah, I was surprised when we had no huge injuries either.
No, I think the there's a concussion concern for Elliot Dixon, who I don't think has only made a brief appearances off the bench. So by all accounts, they're going good.
Yeah, he's well off his best.
Rumour has it he's off overseas.
No, very good. Let's move on to.
You heard it here first.
What do we think of Aaron Smith being his kind of feisty self, mouthing it off to pretty much every player on the day? Just kind of mouthing it off, but I think he had a very solid game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you can get away with that when you're...
He's a halfback. He's a halfback.
You're the world's best halfback. You can pretty much talk down
that's his job.
Yeah,
especially the ref. So.
But, I mean, he's obviously got that kind of persona about him, doesn't he? Like, not many... You say it's their job, but not many do it the way he does.
I think Aaron Smith...
No, it was good. I think there's not a lot to report.
Aaron Smith shows his class, I think, all the time when his exit kicks. So, Highlanders will be inside their own 22, 5 metres away from the outline, and then he'll just put up a bomb, and it basically just sits out on about halfway. Like, that is world class to do that with pressure on. And he just does it, consistently. So, that to me is, outside his passing, outside everything else, that to me is where he just comes alive, eh?
Yeah.
Do we still like him over TJ Piranha?
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Definitely. Yeah. It was an obvious answer, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. But you had to throw it out there, I guess.
I did. Yeah. That's a question worth asking.
Bit of filler time. Right. Anyway. So now we'll go over to the
Moving
big
on.
game.
There was another big game.
Yeah. Crusaders
Blues.
obviously going in.
It was the Blues. The Blues beat the Lions.
Spoiler alert. Right. Let's touch on the Crusaders-Canes game first.
Okay.
So the Crusaders obviously going in heavy favourites. Canes obviously not looking good going into the game.
I don't think it was obvious, Jack, that they were still going as
well, often it's only obvious for the person who says it that it's obvious, Aaron. So
it's so hard to talk when you're just chatting nonsense and then have to just acknowledge it as fact over this. But right, anyway.
Okay.
So I would say,
lead
first of all, we need to put a big disclaimer, a big asterisk after the result and say Ryan Crotty and Sam Whitelock injured within the first 5 minutes. These two are pivotal members in both forward pack and back line. So I'd say Hurricanes, take this, get amongst it, celebrate by all means, get your momentum back. But come the other end of the season,
it was hardly convincing either, though. Let's be fair. It was hardly a convincing win. a couple of things went their way. Little things like a charge down kick going in the right direction and whatnot. That's a game changer. But they certainly didn't pick apart the Crusaders, I would say, at all.
Yeah, you remember?
No, and I guess they.
Sorry.
Sorry. Well, they didn't have Richie either, so they are missing like kind of their core. Like you're saying, like when you drop a couple of key players, it's quite hard. But still, at the same time, I think you're taking a like I don't know, like considering what the Canes were like last week to come out with a victory. I think they've got to take a heap of positives from it, regardless of like what you're saying. Like obviously, Crusaders weren't at full strength, but I mean that's not going to happen throughout the whole season anyway. So they just got to deal with it. And I think the fact that they came on the points, Geordie Barrett played the full game. I believe. And
so are you going to be getting on the bandwagon for him to say All Black fullback, or are you still thinking Ben Smith's got it sewn?
Nah. Yeah, I think you know where my heart lies. But, let's just leave that there. For Geordie though, I wish he wasn't Barrett's brother, because I think that's never going to go in his favour in a way. He's always going to have that as kind of like the reason why he's seen as such a talent, and then the other way, like I don't know. That's my personal thing. But in terms of we touched on kicking last week, and then Geordie obviously does one of his massive long kicks, which obviously took the game out of contention. Really, it was kind of the final nail in the coffin. So that's what he brings to the game as well.
Yeah,
Bodes, obviously
it's hard not to use the word like spine when it comes to sort of Hurricanes. When you think,
I thought you were going to say obviously. I thought it's hard not to use the word obviously. We know how much Jack likes that. Spine. We talked about it last weekend. Inconsistency with Hurricanes. They drop it 1 minute and score the most brilliant try the next. And I think you'll see that repeatedly throughout the season.
Well, I actually meant spine as in you've got TJ Perenara to Barrett to like Bowden to Geordie Barrett. Like they've just got the key players in key positions, and I think that's what really.
Oh, you call that a spine? I call that just key partnerships.
Sort of trying to bring a bit of league into our bit of
the foot bone connected to the
good analogy, Luke. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, sorry.
So the spine of the team has got nothing to do with the backbone and their commitment to each other.
Right. Let's quickly. We talked about you talked about them being like a moment of magic, but then dropping as well. What do we think about the try? I think I've forgotten who actually scored it in the end, but the one where Barrett was obviously running the opposite way, he kind of just throws it back into the pass of where Perenara was going to be, but it almost looked like it got knocked out of his hand in the tackle as well. So I mean, do you reckon it was fully intentional, or was a bit of luck in there, or because the commentators at the time made it out to be like the best thing ever? So what do you reckon?
Well, in terms of you think he didn't try to make that pass?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it kind of looked like it just almost got tackled out of his hand. But I don't know.
Oh,
when I looked at it.
Oh, no, mate. We won't dwell on the past. I mean, obviously they won, so we can just scratch that one down. I think
that's we touched on it before when we talk about like Bowden Barrett and the like luck and the Hurricanes. Like when the ball is going in their favour, when Bowden Barrett is trying things, doing things like that, it is unstoppable. And so I think that's where the commentators are just probably getting on the bandwagon and saying, "Hey, look, the Hurricanes are good when he's good. Why not?"
And I'd like to introduce a word here that we should use repeatedly throughout the season. I mean, there's obviously as well as one of those, but momentum. I think momentum is one of those key things in rugby that goes unvalued, at least in terms of how that one moment in a game can change the momentum. And as you say, like a wave upon wave, whatever it is, if it's Barrett on a good day, if it's Mwanga with the right crossfield kick or something, that's game over.
And so there was one point for the Crusaders when they were looking like they were getting a bit of momentum. I think they got a penalty kick, they kicked it out in the corner, and then Cody Taylor just throws a knot straight. An All Black hooker just throws a knot straight in a really good attacking position, and then as you said, momentum halted, and then
all that pressure deflated everything. Yeah.
And so you're right. The best teams aren't actually going to be.
As we know, pressure makes mistakes. So
like the Blues last week.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
segue.
It comes back to you talking about Aaron Smith and his box kick. I mean, they can take the wind out of the sail, or as I like to say, momentum out of a team's attack so quickly. It's unbelievable. Right. Anyway, yeah.
I thought
Moving
you were
on
about
to
say Aaron
obviously,
Smith in his
yeah.
boxes, and I was like, really gonna look all hot and sweaty again like that.
Oh, that's one thing I am really looking forward to this week is Luke's male body part of the week and who he's going to focus on
Sonny
this
Bill
week.
Williams' jersey is not getting any bigger. That's for sure. It's certainly what a specimen, eh?
Right, perfect transition onto the game as well. Well done, Luke.
Yeah.
So obviously Blues had a lot to kind of prove. They really needed to get some points, and they left us hanging for them. That's for certain. What did you think of the game? Yeah, go.
Well, can I just step in there and say I think we all called Blues to win this one.
Yeah, we did.
They were due. That was last week, round 3 in our preview. We all called Blues to win away, and to be fair, it was down to the last 20 seconds of the match.
To be fair, I did call it by 20, but by 20, by 2, or whatever it was in the end.
I didn't want to blow my own trumpet. I did say under 12 if you go back and run through the tapes, Jack. But I'll leave that for later. Anyway, do I dare say it? Is this the green shoots of a team actually building into some composure and structure? They fought back from 20 points down, I think, at one stage to win an 80-minute match. It's fantastic.
They were getting drilled at the start, and no matter how you win, when you win from a comeback, there's obviously a lot of drive, and that is going to help them a load come the next few games. That's something which they really needed. And the way that they won as well, like to dig
add a little
for the last couple of minutes, just to make sure, not make any errors, like Luke touched on, and what happened to the Blues last week, where they ended up making an error right at the very end, where they could have potentially gone and won it. They've come back the next week, and they've not been in a comfortable victory, but they've still won. And
dare I use this analogy that they actually showed a bit of spine in the game?
Spine?
Well, are we on about?
I think that's how you
spine, shins, like elbows. They've got joints and bones, and they're somewhat connecting with one another.
I tell you what, definitely the femur of the team is have to be those Ioane brothers. My lord!
Oh yeah,
barnstorming runs again, both from centre and number 8. Outstanding stuff against the South Africans, who are big men.
Yeah,
and they just showed pace and skill. Great.
We called it last week on whether Ioane was going to stay out on the wing or whether he was going to come to the centre. And obviously this game he's gone to the centre and he's made a big impact in the game. Whether that's so he can get the ball to him more often, I don't know. We'll see. What do you think in terms of where he's going to be for the rest of the season?
I think he attracts. He's definitely on teams' radars now when they're actually running the tapes and looking at how to diffuse that Blues attack. So you put him in the centre there, and he's definitely going to cause some hesitation.
Yeah.
Get him flooding some of those channels. You're going to overload those defenders with decisions, and it should actually create more and more opportunities. I'd leave him there personally.
Yeah.
The ball probably doesn't go wide enough, often enough to actually make use of such a star player.
Yeah, and like such a star player as well. Like makes such an impact.
He's a God-given talent, definitely.
He'll finish. He'll just finish it regardless. If he gets the chance, he's going to finish.
That's what I enjoyed the most about that Blues performance. And then was that midfield. I thought Sonny Bill Williams and Rieko Ioane it's going to create some amazing tries this year. And who knows, that may even end up being an all-black combination. And I think, like you alluded to it, Aaron, when you talked about it's going to create space. So, Sonny Bill Williams is already drawing in 3 defenders. Like, they can't afford another 3 on Rieko. And you saw that in how they scored that final try when Sonny Bill Williams just drew in the men, and then made that final pass that eventually led to them getting there. So,
got his classic Sonny Bill offload.
Yeah.
Like, might have taken him 80 minutes to do it, but it paid off.
If there's one thing that's undisputable is he's great for the game, isn't he, old SBW? I mean, keep him here as long as possible.
Yeah, ridiculous, yeah. Oh, wait, he's like 32 nearly, I think.
Well, people will pay to go and see him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But, Chiefs had the bye, but pretty much rounds out round 4.
Yeah,
good performances from the Kiwi teams.
Yeah, just touching on Ioane's brother as well, like you did mention it quickly, but he, again, broke through another tackle, and then he was away, and then, like, when he when he's broken one tackle and there's no one in position, no one's going to really get back at him by the way he just keeps on charging that. I don't know,
Well, I think his stride is physically too hard to get your two arms
Yeah.
around. It's like 1.5 meter stride.
Yeah.
So get him in space. He's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
So if he's running off his younger brother in midfield or Sonny Bill Williams in phase play, holy heck it, watch out.
So,
but let's wrap it up there really for round 4.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll just touch on a couple of the kind of All Black prospects coming from the performances which we've seen. Obviously, the key ones being Naholo out wide, keeping that wing spot, and I mean, no other winger really kind of showed that kind of talent this weekend. I don't think, other than him. So I reckon
if he can catch the ball, he'll win you games. He'll be the difference. So.
Yeah. And then obviously you got the Ioane brothers. Where would they play? Obviously Rico has got that wing position locked down, but if he comes centre, then I don't know.
Well,
and then the other Ioane was starting to get a few minutes in the ABs, but do you reckon he'll see a lot more of that come this year?
So let's just think. Kieran Reid he has a massive workload. So and again, I think he must be early 30s as well. So there's definite it's basically.
He's also the leader, so
But Kira is just in a holding spot behind him until maybe the end of next World Cup. So I think there's as long as he has the patience and he's willing just to see it out, then we've still got the best of him to come. But he's got to understand he's behind the All Black captain, so not much he can do there.
Yeah.
And he's young as well. So
I was just gonna
too much. I think what we have seen this weekend is injuries are going to play. I mean, that is kind of a blatantly obvious statement, but it's hard to call it now. The last thing we need to see is DMAC getting ripped in half by a couple of South Africans or something in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Potentially this weekend. So,
Okay, right, well, we'll leave it as that.
Right.
And we've
Excellent.
got a interesting...
Till next week.
Well, till later in the week, when we're going to be doing our first of the previews. And I think... Is that Luke's mum making an appearance one more time?
She's on strict instructions to stay away.
I actually got an intruder this time round.
Right.
I'll keep her not on film like Luke, and I'm not embarrassed to try and back her away. And it's not my mum either. Anyway, better sign off here.
Right, anyway, sign that off.
Right,
Catch you later, boys.